Greetings, fellow readers. This is Rambling Collector once again. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. This is going to be a very unique review because it covers a topic of literature that I have not really read much of myself. At least, not since my middle school days, I want to say. That being poetry. We all know of it as a unique writing style, a very creative one. One that can be used to either tell a story or teach somebody a lesson, or even just to express sheer raw emotion. But here we have Escape from the Unseen Dungeons, Volume 1, A Cry for Mercy, by Peter Okonkwo. You would also know him as the book YouTuber P English Literature. And I actually had the fortune to meet Peter and discuss about reviewing one of his books, especially because I have never really tackled a poetry book before, and it has been a while. Once again, like I said, it has been a while since I've delved into poetry, not since having to learn about it since middle school. And to be honest with you guys, I was going into this one completely blind. But, needless to say, I definitely got blindsided by this one. I was not expecting this book, Cry for Mercy, which only has 107 pages, all of which consists of great multi-page poems. I was not expecting to be absolutely blindsided by how very well written and very well done this poetry was. Honestly, I feel like Peter Okonkwo does more of a spiritual style of poetry, and it is shown throughout his writings with our main character, the narrator, crying out continuously for the Creator, for God, to help. And Cry for Mercy essentially involves someone who has felt like they are locked up in a dungeon, that they are so far from the light, crying out for help, crying out for a call for mercy, asking for forgiveness. And in one particular case, asking for aid for a friend of theirs who is going through something so much worse, and they beg the Creator to help them. Honestly, one of the things I will say is the writing style is very well done, but more than that, it's the sheer, raw, naked emotion that is invoked throughout every single passage within this poetry. You can feel that anguish, that desperation, that crying out for mercy, for help, something. We've all been down in that type of dungeon ourselves, whether it be emotionally or mentally. We've all felt this way, and this, I felt, embodied that particular path. It embodies that emotional state that we are in, when we are just crying out for help, calling for someone to give us a hand, to lend us aid, something, begging to not lose ourselves in wickedness, or even just evil in general, to our own evil desires, the desires of the flesh, the desires of consummation. Everything else, it consumes us, drawing us further away from the light. And once again, that emotional writing really gripped me as I was reading it. I won't lie to you guys, I finished this one in a day. And yet, the main reason for that wasn't because it was short. It was because I did not want to put it down. I wanted to keep reading. I wanted to keep reading some of these poems. They were very well done. And if I were to pick a favorite, I'm not sure which one I could go for. Maybe the one where our character cries out for aid, or even just begging for help, begging to not fall to their own greed, their own passions, their own flesh. Peter Okonkwo, if you are listening to this, I will say this now. You are a fantastic writer and a very well done poet. And I cannot wait to see more of this series, as this is only volume 1. I'm actually very eager to read the next book to see just how much more emotion can be evoked, this kind of spiritual connection. Now, I will not lie to you guys, this is not for everyone. Not all of us are as spiritual, a lot of us are very realistic. But if you want to feel an emotional connection, I would recommend Cry for Mercy. If any of you are in that dark space and you feel as though there's something you're missing, this is it right here. And if I were to call a closer resemblance to it, I would actually point to the Bible's Book of Lamentations, which deals with a similar vibe of grief, loss, everything of that nature, grief, loss, begging for help. That is the similarity and vibe that I get from reading Cry for Mercy. Do I recommend it? Yes. Will it be for everyone? No. But if you are curious like me to dive into a little bit of poetry, and if you really want to see a more emotional connection, then I cannot recommend Cry for Mercy enough. Or, as it is also called, Escape from the Unseen Dungeons. And with all this being said, it should be very obvious what my score of this simple poetry book is going to be. As if it were not obvious enough, I am going to give Peter Okonkwo's Cry for Mercy a solid 10 out of 10 for good writing, good emotional investment, and more importantly, just building that connection between the reader and his literature. I would wholeheartedly recommend this if you want to take a dive into poetry, or if you want to see a more of experience of spiritual poetry. But more than that, I'm just happy to be able to support another independent writer. If you guys are interested in more independent works, feel free to click on the link to the playlist you'll see here. Or, if you're interested to see some of my other book reviews, then feel free to click that playlist as well. Once again, you guys, thank you again for listening to this crazy man's ramblings, and I hope you all enjoyed this. And if you, like me, are interested in checking out more poetry, or if you know any other great poets, please feel free to let me know down in the comment section below. I'm actually very curious to dive more into that world now. So thank you, Peter, for providing me that chance to take my first steps into the world of poetry. And once again, thank you all for listening. This is Rambling Collector signing off for now. But if you have any recommendations for me, please feel free to let me know. And if you like this video, feel free to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below. And if you're interested for more of my future reviews, or I guess you could say podcasts, feel free to click the subscription button down below. Thank you all again for listening. This is Rambling Collector signing off. Have a great day, my fellow readers.